All right, team, welcome. So, this isn't your typical security briefing. We're not going to sit here and talk about firewalls or password policies today. Nope, we're here to talk about something much, much bigger, protecting the actual mind of Automate Corporation. I'm talking about our groundbreaking new AI system. It's quickly becoming our most valuable asset, and believe me, the threats it's up against, well, they're a whole different ballgame.
Look, what we're building here at Automate Corporation is genuinely revolutionary. This new AI system isn't just another tool in the toolbox. It's being woven into the very fabric of our company, into everything we do. And that right there is exactly why protecting it has to be our #1 priority. This isn't just about guarding data anymore. It's about securing the entire future of our business.
So, what does this new AI system actually do? Well, to put it simply, it has the keys to the kingdom. It's reading our most sensitive internal documents, our databases, analyzing customer emails, transaction logs, you name it, it sees it. It's so deeply embedded that it's become unbelievably powerful. And that begs the question, what happens if that power gets turned against us?
So here's our game plan for today. First, we'll get a solid handle on the asset we're protecting. Then we're going to put on our black hats and think like an attacker. We'll explore all the different ways they can go after our AI's brain. And then we'll get to the good part, our AI defense playbook.
Okay, let's dive right in. The first thing we all need to get our heads around is that the old cybersecurity playbook, you can pretty much toss it out the window here. We're not just defending servers anymore. We are literally defending a mind. The attacks we're about to go through don't hit our infrastructure. They are aimed directly at the AI's core logic, its very ability to think.
So what does that actually mean? It means the attacker isn't trying to smash through our digital walls from the outside. No, they're trying to get inside the AI's head, to manipulate it from within. Their goal is to turn our greatest strength into our biggest vulnerability.
And you know, what's really terrifying about these kinds of attacks is just how subtle they can be. This isn't a sledgehammer breaking down a door. It's more like a whisper in the ear, something that slowly and silently corrupts how our AI sees the world. This is what we call a poisoning attack. Think about it like this. We're educating our AI, right? We're feeding it all this data so it can learn. A poisoning attack is like an adversary secretly slipping it bad information, tainted data, during that education process. It fundamentally messes with its logic and makes it totally unreliable.
And attackers have a couple of ways to do this. They can either poison the ingredients before we even start baking the cake, that's data poisoning. Or they can try to mess with the recipe while the cake is already in the oven, that's model poisoning. Either way you slice it, the result is the same, a corrupted AI that we just can't trust.
So the big question is, how do we stop this at Automate Corporation? Well, it's a two-pronged approach. First, we have to look for the symptoms, right? The warning signs. Things like the AI consistently getting things wrong about specific topics, or a sudden drop in quality. Those are huge red flags. Then we build our defenses. We have to be incredibly strict about where our data comes from. We need role-based access for training, and we need automated systems that are constantly looking for weird behavior.
Now let's talk about a really sneaky one. I like to call this the Trojan horse attack. See, we don't build our entire AI system from scratch. We start with a pre-trained base model. But what if that foundation we're building on is already compromised? What if an attacker hit a backdoor in that model before we ever got our hands on it? We'd be building their malicious code right into our own system.
Okay, so far we've been talking about attacks that try to corrupt our AI. But there's a whole other category of threat we need to worry about. These are attacks that try to turn our AI into a mole, a spy that leaks our most valuable secrets to the outside world.
I want you to just pause for a second and really think about the implications of that. Our AI has access to everything: private customer data, our financial records, our roadmap for the next 5 years. A single leak wouldn't just be a financial hit. It would absolutely shatter the trust our customers and partners have in Automate Corporation.
So how does an attacker pull this off? They don't need to hack our servers. Instead, they just play a clever game of 20 questions with the AI. They craft their prompts in just the right way to trick it into revealing the sensitive data it was trained on. It's like a master interrogator getting the AI to betray our trust, piece by piece.
And I want to be clear, this is not some far-off hypothetical risk. Imagine a customer asks our AI a totally innocent question, and the response comes back with a confidential access key to one of our financial servers. The damage from that would be immediate, and it would be irreversible.
Next up, we've got model theft.
Let's be honest, the AI we're building at Automate Corporation is a massive competitive advantage. This attack is basically the digital version of a competitor stealing our secret recipe. They just keep asking our AI questions over and over and over again until they've basically reverse engineered how it works and can build their own knockoff. But here's the good news. We can catch these guys in the act. You see, a normal user at Automate Corporation, they ask questions in a natural, kind of random way. But an attacker trying to steal our model, their queries look very different. They're systematic, structured. It's a dead giveaway that they're trying to map out the AI's brain. And our monitoring systems are built to spot exactly that kind of suspicious pattern.
And finally, there's this really subtle but serious privacy violation called membership inference. In this case, the attacker doesn't even need to steal the data itself. They can just figure out if a specific person's data is in our system. It's like they can ask, does Automate Corporation have a file on John Doe, and get a yes or no. That alone is a massive privacy breach.
Okay, we've talked about the sneaky, subtle attacks. But what about a good old-fashioned brute force attack? Something that's just designed to completely overwhelm our AI system and grind it to a halt.
Well, that's a model denial of service attack. It's simple, but it's brutally effective. The attacker just floods our AI with the digital equivalent of junk mail, really long, complex prompts that are super expensive to process. Our AI gets so bogged down trying to sort through all the garbage that it has no horsepower left for legitimate requests from our staff and our customers.
On any given day, our AI system should be humming along nicely. It's using maybe a third of its processing power, right? It's efficient, with plenty of capacity left in the tank to handle sudden spikes in traffic. It's just cruising.
But during a model DOS attack, that all goes out the window. Suddenly, the system is redlining. It's using 100% of its GPU power just trying to keep its head above water. And for our real users, our employees, our customers, the system is effectively down. They get nothing.
So, we've seen the threats. We've looked at the dark side of what can happen when AI security isn't taken seriously. But now, it's time to talk about how we fight back. This is our playbook. This is how we're going to ensure the AI we built at Automate Corporation is not just powerful, but also resilient, safe, and secure.
Our defense strategy here at Automate Corporation has 5 key pillars. 1, we lock down our data. That means knowing exactly where it comes from and scanning it constantly for sensitive info before it even gets near the model. 2, we vet our base models. We only use foundations from trusted sources, and you better believe we're scanning them for any hidden backdoors. 3, we are always watching. We use smart anomaly detection to spot those weird query patterns that scream theft. 4, we control usage with smart rate limits so no single user can bog down the system. And finally, number 5, and this one is really cool, we train our AI to be just a little bit forgetful. We use special techniques so it learns general concepts without memorizing specific, sensitive data points that it might accidentally leak later.
Look, at Automate Corporation, we are absolutely committed to building an AI that is secure, reliable, and trustworthy. We are setting the standard for AI security. And so the only question left to ask is, what about everyone else?